Hello and welcome along to Switchbox TV in partnership with Triller Fight Club. I'm Ruben Rabstein and joining me is Joe Fournier. How we doing, Joe?
Feeling good. Feeling down in Mexico, training hard, trying to take on this colossal challenge ahead of me.
Well, let's get straight into it because this colossal challenge ahead of you, as you say, is a household name, an established fighter. Where do you start in terms of your preparation initially for this fight?
Get bigger. Get much bigger.
Okay. And how are you going about that?
Eating a lot, like every meal is like 2 main courses, lots of protein, trying to gain as much muscle. Obviously, there was only really 3-4 weeks after the contract was signed to get ready and get as big as possible. And so it's been a big eating, enjoying time, as opposed to the opposite, where usually I'm cutting weight to get to 175. So it's been a fun camp, actually.
I'm so jealous of that you literally have to eat right now. That's my dream. But in terms of your research and things like that, what sets you apart from your opponent? How are you going to tackle this fight? And again, don't reveal all your secrets. We're not asking that, but what's in the back of your mind in terms of your game plan here?
Yeah. So look, I mean, I think what's important to understand is I'm a thinker, right? So I'm a thinker outside. I'm a businessman originally. So hold on, sorry, 1 second. I know you're recording. All right, got a live interview. Sorry. That's my coach trying to cook up on the microwave. Well, straight disregard to the fact that I'm here.
Yeah, but like you said, you need the food. We don't mind. Keep the food going, man. That's exactly. All cool with us.
Exactly. No, so training wise, I'm a thinker. So trying to do things David's way is going to end up very badly for me.
Right.
So I think doing things he doesn't want me to do. So making a move a lot. That's going to be something, after you snapped your Achilles 3 years ago, probably not the best thing to be doing is dancing on your feet round after round. And also we know where his power comes from, that big right hand.
Oh, yeah.
So staying away from that as much as possible. And kind of studying him more, doing what I'm good at. Try and get him into my game as opposed to go into his game. It's a lot easier said than done. And as Mike Tyson famously said, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face.
Yeah.
So giving away between our fight weights, I mean, it's probably 50 pounds in reality, what our fight weights would be if I was fighting in my division and his division. So I got to stick to speed, agility, lots of movement, and try not to, go head on straight away with him. I think once he fatigues, he does drop his hands, David. I think there will be times when I'm strong. I'm heavy-handed for my, So I know as much as he's said it himself, he doesn't really want to get hit by me, and all the pressure's on him, right? So there's a lot going on.
100%, and that was actually leading me to my next question, because with the greatest of respect, the pressure, like you said, it's on him. He's the pro fighter here. Does that?
I'm also a pro fighter. Just
yeah, of course.
Nice to know how you feel about me.
No insults here, don't worry. Does that make you almost fight without the world on your shoulder? You can go out there, do what you want, and knowing that it's kind of in his corner to lose.
Right. I said this earlier on the week in an interview. I said the fact that I was a dishwasher from Hounslow for £1 an hour at 13 years old to now fighting on this colossal show in the United States of America, the dream, right? Like as a young English kid, you like, oh, America, it's like, it's the land of hope and glory, you know? So for me to be on this show, fighting one of my idols, I've already won. Every second, if the fight lasts 4 seconds, I've won. The fight lasts 2 rounds, I've won. 8 rounds, I've won. If I win, I win. I can't lose from the minute that I get in the ring. So there's 100% no pressure on me. I'm going to go out there to have fun. I'm going to go out and sharpen my skills. What I do know, and what the public doesn't know is I have mixed it up with world-class opposition in training, in sparring. I know sparring is different, but I've been in there. I know what I can do. Everyone just goes, oh, yeah, it's just this rich guy that's just bought his way to the top. It's not the truth. The truth is I've done 10 years of boxing straight. I've done a bunch of unlicensed fights. I've never lost. I've knocked a bunch of people out. And the reality is that David's seen that, right? So David knows. Why do you think he's training so hard? He knows, like, Joe isn't the joke. Like, I got to be on my toes because that right hand puts anyone to sleep, you know. And in these bigger divisions, I mean, I feel good I'm nearly 200 pounds now. I feel good. I'm not having to cut water away. I'm as big as I get. So I'm very excited about the prospect. And yeah, I feel like zero pressure. I feel really excited, actually. Yeah. I'm in a really good mood, good camp.
It radiates through, and that's so awesome. And it's interesting that you mentioned sparring, because didn't this whole fight always stem from a spar that you had with David? Is that where it came from, or did you always have like a drive in the back of your mind to do it?
Look, I think there's a bit of naivety when you come into boxing, right? And I say this because I'm sure young boxers and novice boxers going to intermediate, right? Mm-hmm. When you see someone, when you start boxing, you start to think, how good can I be, right? There's a bit of ego behind it. And that's why boxing is very addictive. So I think originally, I'm like, I could do that, right? And I think you get found out very quickly. You learn very quickly if you stick to boxing, when you go from novice to intermediate sparring, from intermediate to high-level sparring, where you are. Right. And I learned that the hard way. I've been filled in a bunch of times in sparring where I've jumped up too fast, and I've really learned, oh, well, I got to reassess. But like I said, I've done this now 10, 11 years. So I'm not a novice really anymore. I'm quite an experienced veteran. And although I took some time out of the ring, I never stopped training. I never stopped sparring. About 5 years ago, me and David were sparring quite a lot. I was his sparring partner, no one knows, for his camps, both camps against Bellew. I was the first sparring partner he used because I was so light. And he always gets his eyes back first. So, you know, lots of jabs, lots of volume, gets his cardio back. Then he moves up to cruiserweights, and he goes up to heavyweights. And that's how he used to do it. So there were a few occasions. There was one in Miami where I've hit him with a left hook, broke his nose, blood everywhere, right? So obviously when you're like, we're going back 5, 6 years, you're thinking, holy smoke, right? If that was 18-ounce gloves he spars with headgear. That was a 10-ounce glove. What could have really have happened, right? You do think about it. At the time, I'm obviously humbled because he's not trying to kill me either. I'm a sparring partner. He's going 70%. I'm going flat out trying to survive.
Right.
Now, I had 6 years of me being active, 4 years of him being inactive, a bunch more injuries since then. You start to think, well, hold on. This is now a matchup. This is a real matchup. And people that are kind of, I mean, I've had hundreds of messages. People tell me I'm going to die on September 11th in the ring, right? Like hundreds, maybe thousands nearly, like on Instagram. And, you know, it motivates me because there is a possibility that could happen. But at the end of the day, you can also die crossing the road. So I know that David's no one to joke around. I've always given it, like I said, he is my idol in boxing. I'm fighting my idol. So it's not like I'm here trash talking like, oh, I'm going to beat him. It's easy work. I'm not training. I'm out on the piss in Mexico drinking tequila. I'm training like, I'm going to have to fight for my life. But I think that under pressure, under the lights, I will do a good job. And I think I'm going to surprise a lot of people. And don't be surprised on an upset.
No. And we can already see that as well from the drive and this sense of competition that I can hear in your voice. I wonder if that stems from you being a jack of all trades in the business world, always just striving. Do you have just an innate sense of competitiveness?
Look, what I learned in business and what I tell young entrepreneurs that might be watching this is you don't have to be the best, right? I'm not the best businessman out there by any stretch of the imagination. But part of the lunacy of business is that if you stick to it for long enough and you grind through the hard times, you come out the other side.
Right.
It's like a plane going through turbulence. I hate flying. When I'm in turbulence, I think it's never going to end. Then you smooth out and you land. And you're like, oh, nothing happened. And that drive comes from tenacity, comes from just never giving up. Like when I open a club, it doesn't always work straight away, right? Sometimes you get it wrong, the lighting wasn't right, the sofas weren't right, the staff are wrong, your GM quits, you know, no one comes, your competition books Jay-Z, you got a problem, right? And then you just got to stick to the plan and make sure as a team, you're all working in the right direction. And I think boxing is similar. Like you have some spars and you feel like concussed, you feel terrible. You feel like, oh man, I don't really have it anymore. You tweak your shoulder and it's staying through all the tough times. And it's the same in a real fight. There's some fights where you're not winning, but when the guy doesn't get you out of there, what happens to him? He's like, I've thrown the kitchen sink at this guy and he keeps coming forward.
Right.
So I think in boxing, I take that business kind of knowing that there's always going to be brighter days after the dark times. It's only a moment in time that I think I'm a hard guy to beat just simply because you know that you're going to have to put me out cold, like twitching on the canvas. Otherwise, I'm going to be right in front of you. And that just comes from my mentality as a human being, as a kid, grafting my way out of Hounslow to do better for my family. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't, I woke up and silk sheets, life's good. You know, I probably wouldn't be boxing if that was the case. But so now I still have that mentality then people say, why do you do it? You don't need to do it. You don't need the money. And I don't. But for me, it's that challenge I've set myself and the legacy thing to go back and tell like my future kids, my future grandkids, like, oh, you know what? I fought David A, the cruiserweight and heavyweight world champion. Like, how cool is that in America? And that's kind of what my desire is, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I think just I don't really worry about people's opinions so much. I think that detracts you. I see them as demons. They try and detract you from your focus and your goal, and that's their job, is to detract you. And I welcome it because that keeps you more laser focused on the task ahead. So I just stay focused on my family, on my friends, on my training, on my business, and I give love and positivity out to everyone. So yeah, I think people are going to be shocked though. Those people, the little demons, are going to be like, "Holy smoke, this guy, he ain't playing."
And especially from and again, as you really passionately said, the resilience that you have in your business life, and clearly, as you've just stated as well, from growing up, carries through to the sport. Interestingly, you mentioned these demons and people that are, again, like you said previously, messaging you on social media and things like that. Does that give you more drive just to silence people and shut people up? You know,
I don't. If other people affect your emotions, you're a weak person, right?
Right.
So it doesn't affect my emotions because motivation needs to come from inside.
Sure.
Right. I don't train. My gym when I train is empty. There's no training partners. Right. I don't care if there's music or no music. I like to make it as miserable as possible for myself because I don't want to have to rely on, today there's no music. Today my training partner, it's an excuse. Right. I start in the most miserable way. And if the music's on, great. Right. That's kind of how I see it. And if I let these people that are they're just projecting their insecurity onto me, right? There's an element of them perhaps wanting to be in my shoes or don't understand quite how I've got to where I've got, or maybe have a different perception until they know me as a human being. And I used to think that about David before I became, I used to hate the guy. He used to come to my nightclubs. He didn't buy any booze and all the birds fancied him. Of course, I never liked David, right? Then he puts me on his show at the O2 Arena and I fight in front of, 20,000 people in my hometown. Now I love the guy, right? And when I got to know him, I realized that the perception of David is different as a human being. He's a real great guy. And in some of my dark times, he's been there for me, which kind of makes this a bit odd because I am going out to fill him in. And I've told him that. And that's why we haven't really been in communication because it's not going to, I just need to be focused. I just got to see it as not my friend, and we're going to go out there and put on a show. So, yeah, do those people motivate me in a way? I do like to win, right? So I see it as like a mental competition. I watched the Michael Jordan documentary where he would pretend like the other guys insulted him. So he motivate himself to beat him. Yeah. And I use those kind of comments maybe from people in the same way, in the same light. But I'm super motivated anyway. So for me, it's just maybe a little cherry on top. But
just sprinkle it on there.
Yeah. I actually feel sorry for those people, to be honest with you, because I don't think about anyone else, right? I don't hate on anybody at all. If someone does great, I'm really happy for them. I actually don't really watch a lot of social media and news because I got my own problems to focus on,
Probably
right? Like
best
we
that you
all do.
stay away from it, you know?
Yeah. And I said this before. I boxed originally for my mental health. I was really fat. I was like super fat. I weighed 247 pounds at my heaviest. So I don't know what that is, but that's like Tyson Fury nearly. You know what I mean? And I'm 6'1". And so I box for my mental health. So if I let all these factors coming in and I make it about other people, I'm not doing my job. My job is to be the best version of myself and to be able to manage my businesses, to manage my family, because, you know, families aren't easy either, you know, and also like my own health and all the psychological aspects of getting older and, you know, little white hairs creeping in and all of that. So, yeah, and then you get
We
these,
can't see it from this angle, don't worry.
Yeah. Just for men soon.
And of course, as well, to the lineup, there's been a couple changes in terms of the whole fight for Triller. I mean, Mr. Evander Holyfield has now been added in there. What's that going to be like, knowing that that name is going to be in the arena?
Yeah, I mean, Evander Holyfield is as big as a legend as anyone ever in the history of boxing, right?
Sure.
You know, so just to even, this is what I'm trying to say is, as a kid, as a fan of all these people, just is going to be like, first fight's Evander Holyfield, second fight's Anderson Silva, third fight Joe Fournier. It's kind of mental. Do you see what I'm saying?
You're literally living your dream.
Yeah, I'm living the dream. So like whatever anyone tells me, like externally, is like, cool, you keep worrying about you. Look what I'm doing, you know? And that's kind of like, I'm like a bit of an excited kid on Christmas that is just getting like his dream given to him. And I am really humbled and appreciative of Triller to see the value in me to even allow me to be on this show, because I laugh sometimes with Ryan Kavanagh about my per diem. I'm like, well, how much is my per diem? He's like, you should be paying us. You should be paying us to be here, not the other way around. And like, you know, tongue in cheek, I kind of don't disagree with him. You know, he's a great dude. So yeah, it's good fun. And even Bobby, his partner, we laugh about it. I'm quite good friends with him, you know, pre-Triller. So yeah, they kind of laugh about it with me. But I mean, Evander Holyfield against Vitor Belfort, like, holy shit, that is a fight, dude. That is no joke of a fight, because Belfort is a phenom, right? He's the #1 striker and probably in the history of MMA, right? He's probably close to. And Evander Holyfield, you know, like one thing that they say is you get older, which isn't great for me because you lose your power. Yeah. And David's still got his power, I'm sure. Yeah. So imagine, right? So just run the fight for a second. So Holyfield comes out, super big and heavy. Belfort hits him. He's going to take it. Whack. What do you think Holyfield's going to do? Whack. And Belfort's going to go whack. It's going to be like a real brawl. Yeah. Like, I can just see this being, like, in a way, maybe more of an exciting fight as the original bout, because I don't think that Oscar would be standing toe-to-toe with Vitor because of the weight that Oscar would have had to go up and Vitor's had to cut. Perhaps. I don't know. I'm just guessing, right?
Right.
But I know that, Evander ain't going backwards at any point or sideways. Yeah. Especially at like 50 odd years old. So, I'm kind of more excited about this fight just on the low than the other one. I mean, like, I would, obviously Oscar is one of my favorite fighters of all time. So it's a shame and he's not on it right now. But yeah, it's kind of been like, wow, what a swap.
Yeah. Big time swap. And listen,
I kind of think like the press, like I've been reading it online, like everyone's kind of more excited about it now.
Yeah.
In a way, because they're kind of similar sizes.
Yeah, but there's that too. It seems as if like it's more of an equal matchup. And again, the name, it's just that's
like Holyfield.
Any event in the world, and the excitement you have, not just for your own fight, but the whole event, it shines through. Your resilience, we can see it. So pleased that training's going well. And honestly, Joe, from everyone at Switchbox TV, best of luck, and hopefully we can catch up after it.
Yeah.
With a W to your name, I hope.
Well, listen, I'm really confident because I'm opening my nightclub Bonbonniere in Tulum 3 days after the fight. So the grand opening's 2 days. So I'm intending on winning and getting on a jet.
Yeah, we're all coming from Switchbox to the club to come celebrate with you.
That's a deal. That's a deal. Drinks on me.
Yes, sir. Best of luck, my man, and take it easy. Keep up the good work, and we'll be watching with eager eyes.
Appreciate it. Respect. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, buddy. Take it easy.
Take care. Bye-bye.